Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of One Piece Madness. This is your host, Hussein, the One Piece Uncle, joined by the co host, Hatim, the One Piece Dada.
The
How are
upgraded,
you, man?
upgraded, very much upgraded One Piece Dada
2.0.
2.0, the
I don't know
upgraded
if you can
version.
see, but this guy got a 720 HD camera with a mic and
1080,
everything, and I'm still
1080p.
1080p, and I'm still in my kitchen on a 50 megabit Wi Fi. So, someone's making moves out here. That's all I'm
Someone's
going to say.
making moves, but the host has gotta keep up with the trend
Yo, the
if we want to
host
get
is
those
mad
views.
busy right now. Give the host another month and a half, and I will get my production quality up. I promise you. Now I put it out there. The internet can hold me accountable if my production is still shit by the end of the year.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, this episode we wanted to dive into the second part of the chapter of 1064, and Hatim apparently he had a lot to say, so we cut him off last episode. So I'm going to give him the floor this time to speak his piece on this chapter. Ready whenever you are, dude.
I mean my main topic that we really want to discuss in the second part of the chapter was, well, one, the whole situation with Kuma, and the other thing is with Vegapunk speaking to Dragon. So I'm just looking at the chapter right now, and I want to go back to the page where they're talking about Bonnie mentioning that Kuma was from a special people. So I'm just thinking, what do you think those people are? Is it Lunarians? Is it a different tribe that we haven't met before? Is he a giant? Like, what role does Kuma's race have to do with the story? Is what I'm really interested about.
Oh, if you're asking me, the first thing I thought
Well,
about when I saw the special race was
I'm
the
asking
Lunarian.
you, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
asking you
Yeah,
first, and then I'll continue afterwards, just to make it easy.
yeah, so the first thing I thought about was the fact that he would be a Lunarian, because the last few chapters has really, the last arc itself has really gone into detail about the importance of Lunarian DNA and how strong they are and how OP it is to be a Lunarian, basically. So that's what I thought. But then a lot of people have brought up the fact that if you go back to Whole Cake Island, Big Mom says that she had three races that she could not get in her tot land diversity portfolio, right? Giants, Lunarians, and before she could say a third one, something happened in the story and she got cut off. So people are speculating that it's possibly the third one, which we haven't been introduced to yet. And uh, because of that, there have been other theories that if he is a Lunarian, then maybe they use his DNA as well for the Seraphim and not just King when they were experimenting on him. I think Lunarian is the easy answer, but I feel like Oda has another surprise for us, which will probably add to the story.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was thinking. The only reason I thought the first instinct is Lunarian because we know that they play such a big role, and we know that there's a relationship between Lunarians and potential relationship between the Lunarians, the Shandorans, and all the Skypiea residents. But what I would say is Lunarian seems unlikely only because of Kuma's features are not very much like how King was. King had a distinct skin color, and King had distinct marks on his body. He obviously had the wings, and we don't see Kuma having any type of wings that would indicate that he's a Lunarian.
Uh, One second, I need to look up something. Uh, so the wings theory people have pushed back on because we haven't really seen Kuma's back. He's been wearing a jacket the whole time. Uh, there was an SBS which Oda drew all of the Shishibukai as children, and he drew Kuma as well. But at the time, Kuma was wearing like a backpack full of sticks, as if he was like carrying wood across like a distance, right? So the backpack is basically covering his back still, and we know that Uruj, Mad Monk, had wings, and he removed it. Uh, what race was he?
We haven't seen him in a long time.
But like he could be like a different type of whale.
Sorry, you cut off. I couldn't. I missed pretty much what you said. All I heard was beep 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 boop beep. That's basically what I understand from you.
I mean, Kuma's a robot, right? So maybe I'm a robot now.
Yeah, maybe you're a robot, but um, I understand why people. There's anything you can do with the wings. You're right, and Yorog is a good example. Like, okay, he removed his wings. That's fine. The thing is, even with the facial features, Kuma's is different, and that's where I would think maybe he's a giant. The only problem with him being a giant is that he's not that big. Like, he's kind of small. Like, Big Mom is. He's not even near Big Mom's size or any other giants that we've seen in the
Right.
series. So I would say that for Kuma to be a giant is unlikely. He's clearly not a three-eyed tribe. So yeah, there's definitely something else out there, and I think that's gonna change the game in terms of what these tribes mean to One Piece.
The thing is, he has to be an important race for the world government to like need to have him in their lab and test him and do different trials on him with Vegapunk, right? He just cannot be a giant. Like giants aren't that valuable to the One Piece story as a whole. Lunarians are, which is why that's the leading theory that he's probably just a Lunarian.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that might be where Oda's going. It's just that there's just that possibility that he's not. And again, like, it's just wondering if he's such a special race. Does Dragon know? Does Vegapunk know? Probably, but what purpose does that serve, and how does that connect to the Ancient Kingdom and the Void Century? Is what I'm wondering. Because clearly, that might be the reason why, uh, they're after Kuma. And I'm also just wondering, like, if Kuma knew that he had to help the Straw Hats and was prepared for everything, and he sent them exactly where they needed to go. So that means there's just a lot of information that he knows about, that more information than a lot of characters even know about.
So this is like the perfect segue into Dragon and Vegapunk's relationship because it looks like there's a dynamic between the three with Vegapunk, with Dragon, and with Kuma. They're all working together as revolutionaries. That's the basic theory that's been floating around for a long time, but it's been confirmed now because of the fact that Vegapunk tells Dragon that he'll be dead soon, and that's the issue with being a genius because like you know what's going to happen. So it's probably alluding to the fact that CP0 is going to come and kill Vegapunk or one of the satellites. Therefore, him telling Dragon that okay, so this is what I think the conversation is going to be, right? He's telling Dragon that the CP0 is coming to kill me. Therefore, I need to tell you everything that I know about the world government and the fact that Kuma wanted to be rewired to save the Straw Hat ship and also send them to their specific locations tells me that they're all working together. And Vegapunk used Kuma as a robot in Marijua as a slave for data gathering so that he can pass on the data to Dragon and then they have a lot of information at hand to finally go and tackle Marijua from the inside, right? Because Kuma's been a slave in Marijua for the last 2 years. So God knows what he's seen what he's been through, the important details he could have seen about the Gorosei or structures or anything that Dragon can use, thanks to Vegapunk's involvement in making one of the revolutionaries a cyborg. That's just my mini rant on their relationship. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, the only thing is, I'm just wondering, like, a lot of the revolutionaries were confused that Kuma decided to become a cyborg or complete robot. So I'm just wondering if that's the relationship is what it is. Why didn't Dragon know that Kuma made this decision? Because he seemed pretty unaware that this decision was made by Kuma. So that's my only thought regarding it. It just seemed like Kuma might just be a fourth, could potentially be, if Oda wants him to, he could become a fourth actor in all of this. The Straw Hats as one actor, pirates in general, the world government, revolutionaries, and then Kuma. He could honestly be like
Wait,
a puppeteer,
dude,
changing things around.
I think Dragon knew that. So Dragon was the only one that was in on Kuma going into the world government as a Shishibukai and then becoming a cyborg.
Oh really?
Where
But
did
the
his,
other, okay.
yeah.
Maybe you're
So
right.
he
Okay.
kept it a secret from everyone just so that this plan would not flop. No, like none of the commanders, no, not even Sabo, the right hand man. No one's supposed to know this, so that they can execute the plan perfectly.
It makes sense, but then even for Kuma, like, how would he know exactly where to send everyone? Like, that means he has like extensive data on the Straw Hats to say, oh yeah, they should actually go. Robin should go to the Revolutionaries. Zoro should go to Mihawk. Nami to the Weather Islands. Luffy would relay. Like, there's just so many things that he knows exactly where they need to go. It's like he must have done a lot of extensive research and knows something. He has some kind of expectation about Luffy and his crew compared to anyone else.
Another, this is a little side tangent, but like, I was watching another YouTube video. I forgot the creator. It's really late here, and my head's in a different space. He was talking about an interesting theory where we know that you can transfer your will into a devil fruit, right? You see that with Joy Boy. Like the Nika fruit has a little bit of Joy Boy's will, which has been passed on from generation to generation, and like the fruit chooses its user. So, what if Vegapunk has somehow perfected that in such a degree that when he dies from CP0 or like from this next altercation, he creates a devil fruit with his will in it, and it could be the Hito Hito no Mi Punk model, and it's willed for like Frankie to eat it, and then Frankie can carry on the will of the Punk and evolve and keep science evolving. Just because
That's
Vegapunk is dead doesn't mean it cannot go ahead, right?
I hope that's a unique theory because that's an interesting theory. But the we need to see more about Vegapunk. What is his will? What does he really want? What reasons did he create all these different bodies? So that's definitely interesting. And obviously Frankie went to his lab and learned a lot. But like, what will he teach Frankie, if anything, at all?
I mean, why he made so many bodies is simple. If you're a genius, you need to get as much work as done as possible. Like imagine Hatem had like 3 clones. One Hatem can be studying law, one can be talking about One Piece like all the time, and one could be taking care of his wife. So like it's a perfect, it's perfectly efficient. Like that's the point of having different Vegapunks.
Yeah, I understand that. The only thing is his clones are not like clones in our normal sense of the term of how like we see in like Western media. It's more like Naruto pain bodies that he can control. And the other thing is each is attributed a certain type of thing, like logic, the logic one, the I don't remember the other ones off the top of my head, but there was like logic,
Evil,
and then there
Lilith,
was
yeah,
Lilith and
Edison.
Pythagoras, Edison, like all these different names. Like you don't necessarily need to give your clones all those names. You just maybe give 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or if they're just you in human bodies, like your manifestation, then you wouldn't have to say much. But he literally has names for them. Obviously, there's more just theory that they're actually scientists before as well. that he used their bodies or whatever. But the other thing is, there might be another reason, and it might come down to Logic's perspective of trying to control his passions. Maybe there's parts of Vegapunk that he really didn't like, and he was trying to split it off and just like not deal with it and say, okay, I'll just separate it into a different body or whatever.
Okay, I didn't think about it that way. I just thought that he just wants to be as efficient as possible.
Get
as much science done.
Yeah, so I didn't really think about it that way. But the only thing is, when it comes when you're naming them certain things or giving them certain attributes or emotions, it seems more like you're trying to curb certain aspects of yourself and just put it to somebody else. So even the real Vegapunk is like, okay, well, I'm like free from these things, but it really comes down to his character, like what kind of person is Vegapunk? Is he a nice guy? Is he empathetic? Is he just some kind of stuck up genius? Is he very arrogant? Like, we really don't know yet.
Yeah. We need to know what happens between Dragon and Vegapunk though.
Yeah, it's like, and it's just more thought questions, like, and if he's an arrogant type of person, why even be in the revolutionaries? Like, what's your goal? And is the world government's probably paying him a hefty amount, to work for him? So why even be with the revolutionaries? He's benefiting from being with the world government in one sense.
He's benefiting enough from the world government, but he's not getting as much as he wants. And the thing with geniuses, right, is that especially the most genius of all, Vegapunk, he can predict the future. So what if he's being practical in his arrogance, in the sense that he knows that the world government eventually will have to go down because they're not learning from their mistakes, and Joy Boy will return, and the revolutionaries will be the right side of the will be at the right side of the conflict. Because there was another video I watched from someone. I'm really bad at citations right now, but they were basically saying, like, if you don't learn from history, you're going to get screwed over again. And the world government has been trying their very best to stifle innovation and creativity in technology, just so that they can be ahead of the curve by having the monopoly over Vegapunk. So if Vegapunk cannot distribute all of his creations and have enough funding, that still has a certain level of control over the world government. And we've seen that to a certain degree in real world too. Like, for example, all the innovations in technology we see happen in the army before it comes out to the general public, like the internet. So it is possible that they try to keep it within themselves to avoid conflict in a large scale. So that's what the world government is doing. And Vegapunk knows that you cannot stifle creativity long without consequences of someone breaking through and screwing over the monopoly, or the person who's controlling the monopoly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say that seems like it makes sense. Again, like you're saying, like they don't learn from their mistakes. But that's where I'm wondering: is Vegapunk the type of, like, is he morally driven, or is he just, oh, it benefits me to be with the revolutionaries because I can see the outcome of the events, or it's because, well, yeah, it does it benefit him, or is it for moral reasons? But he knows he's gonna die soon, so honestly, he doesn't really have to stand with anyone. If you know you're gonna die before basically the end game.
Which could lean towards the fact that he's nice in general. And like he sees Dragon's vision and he wants to help out the revolutionaries before he, moves on to the next phase.
Yeah, so I'm hoping for that exposition of what, his relationship with Kuma and how that goes. I'm very interested in Kuma, and I'm hoping he does get a nice role. He had a pretty cool devil fruit, and his character is very interesting, and he always carries that, like, Bible or religious text, whatever it's supposed to be, in the actual manga, which is interesting. And it just shows the type of person he actually is, trying to maybe hint out, maybe there's certain principles that he abides by, that he's acting towards, and we need to get that information from him.
We know he's not a tyrant, so he's just trying to.
Yeah, we know he's not a tyrant.
He's not.
Yeah, because everyone says he's very nice. Who knows him? Like, actually personally knows him, says he's a really good guy. So we know that's not true. My other question to you, though, does Blackbeard go after the pawpaw fruit, knowing that after now that he's gone, kind of, or is it even out of his body? Because I think one of the cyborgs did use his ability, the original one.
I think the biggest benefit from the pawpaw fruit is the fact that the teleportation thing, and we have Van Augur who already has the warp ward fruit. So I don't see why Blackbeard would go for it, unless you go for like the paw bombs where you just create a big freaking bomb from your palm and then you just explode it. But I'm trying to think who is. I think all of the Titanic captains have a devil fruit, except for maybe that Palazzo guy, which we don't know for sure yet. It's not confirmed if he has a devil fruit or not. So that's the only guy we're waiting on for confirmation. He could be getting the pawpaw fruit, but I think again, it's not as stacked as some of the other devil fruits he has. So I don't think he's going to go for it. He's been running the Mera Mera no Mi, so I think he's going to go for that one over the pawpaw fruit. Still.
The thing is, though, with the pawpaw fruit, though, it does have other capabilities. We haven't seen an awakening from it, so that's one thing we should keep in mind. The other thing is, like, remember with Zoro, like, you can actually extract all the damage from one person and put it into another person. So that's a pretty powerful ability, if I would say, like, to have the ability to actually, like, extract all that damage and put it into somebody else.
But who would he give it to? That's the only thing now. He has all the devil fruits. Like, now the issue is, if he gets more, then who will he give it to? Like another random crew member? That's such a waste. I don't know, man.
Yeah, so it might not be. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, because Blackbeard wants all the good devil fruits, and he's hunting after it, and it's possible within maybe 20, 30 chapters, he might even run into Luffy and all of them, and Vegapunk. It's not out of the question that if he wants something, he's going to get it, and he knows exactly what kind of fruits that he wants.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think any additional thoughts.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think right now. I think I've covered all the interesting stuff I had to say. Do you have any other thoughts on this chapter before we move on to 1065? Oh.
Yeah, 1065 is next week, right?
Yeah.
1065 predictions. What do you think? What do you think we see the outcome of Blackbeard and versus Law?
We see Law getting bodied by the Black Vortex, getting kidnapped. That's a wrap of Law and the Heart Pirates. Beppo goes into Sulong mode, stalls them for a little bit, nothing happens, and Law gets kidnapped with Kobe, and then we see another reincarnation of the Rocky Port incident.
I honestly, I think I mentioned this. I might have mentioned this in the first one, but I think that Lost Crew did a pretty decent job at handling Blackbeard. They weren't really like just being completely useless. They were doing a pretty good job. It's very possible, but I wonder what is the Heart Pirates' actions after Law is going to be taken, because that's likely what's going to happen. And I would say that they're probably going to go to Luffy and stuff. Like, that's more logical. They're going to contact them with a snail transponder or something and say that this happened.
I think Luffy's going to find out eventually when he runs Blackbeard, because Blackbeard has Pudding captured, Law captured, Kobe captured. Pudding is for Sanji, Law is for, like, I guess, Luffy, and Kobe as well. Like, Kobe and Law. Law is for the General Straw Hats, and Kobe is for Luffy. So I think there are many commanders in the Straw Hats already who have ties to all these three. So once he runs into Blackbeard, he'll find out everything eventually, and he'll get the Rocky Port incident dump, and just going to be all out from there.
Well,
I don't
for
think
sure,
he's contacting from Blackbeard.
Well, for sure, I think that. Yeah, for sure though, I think that having Kobe and Law will make a big difference, because I think that might persuade Zoro usually more so that he'll actually be persuaded. He has a connection with Kobe as well, and then plus also, like, just having Law as well, they might think it's important to get Blackbeard down. Blackbeard's very dangerous, and Morge made a good video just talking about how Blackbeard is really one of the perfect villains for Luffy, because he's literally Luffy in more of a twisted twisted manner. And there's a lot of things that Luffy tends to agree with Blackbeard, but in perspective, but everything that the way he goes about everything is not something he agrees with. So it should be fun, and I'm hoping that we see Luffy and Blackbeard kind of see each other more than once before they get the final clash, just to build up on it.
Yeah. Oda had to show Heart Pirates having some fight, otherwise they wouldn't have survived in the New World this long.
Yeah, you
So
have to.
that's why you have to do something about They can't be complete fodder. Otherwise, Law has no right to be in the New World.
It wouldn't make any sense.
Should go back to Paradise.
Right, like it wouldn't make any sense. I think maybe we could get another world cut too, potentially in the next chapter. But I would like to see he might focus just more on the Vegapunk stuff. I think everyone besides Luffy and them might be even taken into the lab, so we might get the actual true introduction of Vegapunk next chapter.
So soon? I'm not ready, dude. I'm not ready.
You have to be, because the story has picked up its pace, so we're gonna get a much more faster reveals as things are going.
And I never thought it's the day, dude. I'm not ready.
Yeah, things are close to wrapping up now.
Yeah, but this has been it from us, guys. Thank you for watching so far. We've crossed the 25-minute mark. There's so much to talk about. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm literally dying, but like I can still talk for another 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, it's like there's so many. It's like a lot of questions. I mean, we might have repeated a few things a lot, but it's just the questions for the chapter and potentially what happened. And again, there's so many other One Piece discussions that we could have. I mean, we're at a 27 mark, so it's fine. But there's always other topics that if even people in the comment section want to mention too, we're sure to give our opinions about it.
Thanks. Anyone, if you guys have any questions or you want us to cover something in the next episode, please leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to this, whatever my channel is. And yeah, have a good night, guys, or morning, evening, wherever the hell you are. This has been Hussein Johari from the One Piece Madness, signing out. Peace. Stop. End it.